There we go. Let's run through the list real quick. See who was in here first. Well, I got to turn off that monitor. We have Jason Lamb, which is in here first. Mike Sampson. Well, I got to turn off that monitor. Cowboy Catfishing. We have Jason Lamb, which is in here first. Mike Sampson. Oh, I got to turn off that monitor. You have a second device open? Was there a second device open?
I did, but I got away from it.
All you have to do is turn the volume down on it. That's all you have to do is turn the volume down on it.
Gotcha.
That way you can still see bluegill too.
It's not a bluegill.
I mean, a green sunfish.
No, he's not a green sunfish.
What is he?
It's not a bluegill. He is a bluegill shellcracker hybrid. No, he's not a green sunfish.
Okay. What is he?
It's not a bluegill. He is a bluegill shellcracker. Let's see. Let me try to turn this down. Let me try to turn this down. Let's see.
All right.
He is a bluegill shellcracker. Let me try to turn this down. Let me try to turn this down. Let's see. There we go.
There you go.
But yeah, he's a bluegill shellcracker hybrid.
How did you find him?
Well, I have access to a private pond that I've been fishing for about 5 years. It was dug in 1983 by a man and woman that worked for the University of Georgia, and it was stocked with bluegills, shellcrackers, and bass. That's it. And there were so many years that it didn't get to fish that they just started making hybrids. They made hybrids because there was so many fish in it. And I've been fishing. I've had the luxury to fish there for about 5 years. And I'm pretty much the only person that fishes down there. And yeah, they make these pretty fish. The biggest one that I've caught down there was probably about 14 inches long. This one's probably about 9 inches long, the one I have in the aquarium right now. But wow. Yeah, it's got some jam up fish in it. Overpopulated for years and years and years. But yeah, me and my son have caught some good ones down there. The bass don't get really they don't get too big, because it's overpopulated. I've tried to catch maybe 50 bass out of it a year for the last 3-4 years, and I can't put a dent in them. But yeah, that's the guy right there.
He's a nice one.
Yeah, he's a pretty good fish. I've started keeping fish aquariums maybe 35 years ago when I was a kid, and I've kept them as an adult. I don't know, over the years, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 different times. And I've always liked to keep native fish that I've caught. I used to keep South and Central American cichlids, which are kind of the same as the North American sunfish. They act the same way in aquariums. They like to eat live food. That's basically one of the reasons why I like to keep them. But yeah, he's a hoss. I'll probably keep him.
Minnows?
Minnows, he eats them. You can see right now, I have one little sunfish that came out of the same pond as him. He ate those too. He ate 4 of the 5. He's wanting to eat right now. Yeah, they're all wild fish. If you keep them in an aquarium, they're real hardy. That's one reason it's easy to keep them. You don't really have to worry about your water quality that much because they
like you're waiting to do something.
They can survive a lot better, less water quality than fish that you buy at the tropical fish store.
Right.
Just because they're wild, but they're easy to keep. They're fun to keep. They're interactive. He's always following my hands. He'll bite my finger. That's just one of the reasons why I like to keep them. But this is all sunfish. It's not just him. You know, the red breast I had before him was probably more aggressive than he was, and they're all pretty much the same. Um, put them in an aquarium and the fish is the same kind, it's smaller than them, they'll kill it. You know,
Oh yeah.
give them 2 or 3 weeks, they'll kill them. But yeah, it's just something that I've enjoyed doing over the years. I enjoy fishing. I enjoy fish. Um, it's just one of the things I do.
All right, we're gonna say hi to a few more people real quick. We have Alicia in here. We have Angel Hawk, painting service by Steve, Dave Garcher, John Boys, Fishing Local 336, Eddie Gross. We have Bex with No Real Loss, Mike Irving, Parker Pursuits, Chrissy Brown. Let's see who else. We got Becky. Let's see who else. LG Bass. Welcome everybody. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notifications. And if I can get Ahmad in here to keep posting Sunfish Assassin's link, and let's get him growing and share it out and show him some love. Go over and watch a video, leave a comment, so you can be stuck to him when you subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. And we have Randall's Rhino in the house as well. He's at the hospital right now with his wife, Tammy. So everybody, let's keep him in our thoughts and prayers. Okay. What got you into fishing?
As a kid, well, fishing's been in my family. I have a picture of the first fish I ever caught when I was 2 years, 4 months old. It was the little bluegills. My dad took them home, cleaned them. My mom cooked them for me, and I ate them. And that was before I was 3. My dad grew up fishing in Florida as a kid in the 60s. And it just progressed when I was born in Georgia. You know, fishing was always a big thing. My grandmother was a big fisherman. Me and her probably fished together 500 times as a kid. I would go stay with her in Florida for a month in the summers when I was 10 or 12 years old. We go fishing every single day. She would take me saltwater fishing, intercoastal. She'd have trips, lined up for me to go fishing in creeks and rivers and ponds down in Florida. And, it's just been a big thing in my family, growing up. And that's, I was pretty much hooked from the time I was a little kid. And I've just enjoyed catching fish and fish in general, you know, from the time that I was young.
Now, what was it like when you caught that first flathead in that Rocky Falls?
Yeah, we know. So I met this guy on Facebook. He lives local here. He's a big hunter, a big fisher. He takes people out fishing and stuff. He took me out there, and I didn't know what I was going into when I went out there, So we go to the Broad River, and it's in shoals. You've seen the pictures. It's probably 500 yards across the river. He wades me out in water up to my titties sometimes, going between places, and dude, it was awesome. It may be one of the best fishing trips that I've had, and I can't remember when. I've waded ponds and I've waded lakes, but I ain't never waded in the shoals and current and stuff like that. I don't think I was really prepared the first time we went, but he told me he's going to take me before deer season starts again, and I'll be more prepared. We probably caught 20 catfish that morning, in maybe 3 hours. And next time I'm going back with cut bait.
Thank you, for sharing out his link. Let's keep him going so we can get Sunfish Assassins numbers up to 500.
But, I just really got into catfishing. I catfished growing up, but when I would go catch catfish as a kid, we had friends that had ponds stocked with channel cats, and if I wanted to go catch catfish, I went to a pond and I caught channel cats out of a pond. I would say that This past year, I've probably done more catfishing in the areas that I fish in here around where I live. Um, and it's very fun. It's very addictive, and I definitely see myself doing more of it. Um,
What,
but
what
I
really
like
got
to.
you into catfishing this year?
What's that?
What turned you into more of a catfishing now than what
Well,
you were when you were a kid?
well, when I started my channel, and watching channels, the catfishing community and all the people that I interact with is very interested and they're very supportive. Um, and just from watching different people catch catfish, this definitely made me want to explore different avenues of fishing and places where I fish at or have been fishing. Where I fish at now, I just started fishing in this area about a year ago. Um,
Okay.
all the fish I caught last year, I started out on a fish brain and downloaded the app, and then I started seeing what people were catching in places that were close to me. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm catching some pretty good fish too. And I think that I might make me a YouTube channel. So I bought a GoPro. I use my phone and my GoPro now. I don't really edit my videos a lot, but that's probably something that's not going to change over the next couple of years. I will get I will get better footage. I don't believe in B-roll so much. Just catch some fish and let's see what you're doing, and that's it. Uh, that's probably gonna be what my channel's about. And I'd love to cook them too. I do cooking videos, um, but you know, but I do have a couple areas of fishing that I do think I can catch some pretty good cats in where I'm fishing at.
What was that bait that you used to catch that flathead?
I caught the flatheads. Every flathead I've caught has been on worms.
Really?
Every time. Yep.
Everyone
When
I've
the
caught them on has been on live bluegills, uh, suckers, Asian carp, bluegills, shad, all
dude,
live.
the guy
Huh?
that took me fishing in the shoals, that's what all he was fishing with, and he pulled 20 catfish out in 3 hours by himself with worms. Some 4 to 5 pound channels, smaller ones. I caught 2 flatheads that day, and he caught 2. Like I said, we only fished for 3 or 4 hours. And I've talked to him about it since about taking some cut bait down there and fishing the same way. Uh, and he just told me, he's like, I fish down here for food and I catch more fish on worms than I do on cut bait.
I've caught. I mean,
Now,
I'm from the Kaskaskia where I fish. I've caught more cats off cut bait and live bait than I have with worms. Because every time I use worms, I'll catch drums and everything else.
we don't have drum here. That's one thing. I've
So
never caught a drum.
all right, I'll stick with my cut baits and live baits because I know cats will go after that. And the drums.
No, that's not to say that I caught the 2 channels that me and my son caught in the Hudson this spring. They were probably, if I had to go back and look, I never weigh fish, but the one my son caught was probably 8 pounds, and I caught one that was probably 5 pounds. And I caught both of them on cut creek chops.
Well, Jason Lamb says he caught 3 flathead this weekend on green sunfish.
Dude, I love fishing with green sunfish.
And
They are very hardy fish.
Bex
But
was over a lot. The worms that every time she goes catfishing to use worms for catfishing, they're gone before she gets a catfish.
I guess it just depends on the area you're fishing in. When we were fishing in the shoals, out there where we're fishing in the rocks and in the rapids, this pretty much your only thing you're going to catch is catfish. It's not like, I think that day I caught 1 shell cracker in some slack water that was up around where we were fishing. But when you're fishing out where the currents run through all those rocks, you're only going to catch catfish. That's it. And the guy that I was fishing with, he'd been fishing there for like 40 years since he was a little kid. And he's doing that when he's fishing with worms out there like that. He's doing it because he wants to take fish home and eat them. He wants the ones that weigh a pound, 2 pounds, because that's pretty much the best ones you can eat.
Okay, now
And that
the bluegills that you keep to eat, how big are they?
well, it depends on where I'm fishing at. If I'm fishing out at Sandy Creek, which is a public lake I fish a lot, it's 260 acres. If I catch one that is 8 inches long, that's the ones I want to eat. I catch some shell crackers out there that are up to 12 inches long. 8 to 12 inches are the ones that I want to bring home. That way I can fillet them, or sometimes I cook them whole. But yeah, 8 to 12 inches are the ones I want to eat. And then I'll usually throw back. If I go out and I catch 50 fish, I'll usually throw back 30 of them.
Damn.
Something like that. I don't. I'm the only one that eats fish in my family, so I can only eat. Dude, I ate like 1,500 fish last year. And you kind of get burnt out.
Honestly, I love fish. I love eating fish more than I do anything else. But 1,500 pounds of fish, no.
And they're not pounds, just 1,500 fish last year.
Damn, that's so.
Well, that's a lot of fish. If I go out and fish on the weekends and I catch 50, it takes me like Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night to eat them all. Thursday night.
We have the famous Chunky Cats, Elston, in the house.
Yeah, I'm joining the Chunky Cats channel.
Welcome, everybody. Snake River, find me on Facebook and send them to me in Messenger.
Hey, so what did you think about the logos I sent you?
Oh, that's really awesome.
Well, that's a friend of mine. I used to be friends with him here in Athens about 20 years ago, and he lives in Texas now. But he can draw really good. And I've been trying to get him to make me a logo now for about 6 months, but how life gets in the way. He's hand drawing all this stuff, and he's not a spring chicken. He's probably about close pushing 50. So yeah, eventually he's gonna get one narrowed down for me, and that's what I'm gonna use for my logos.
There's my email, Snake River. So if anybody has any questions for Sunfish Assassin, please put them in chat. We will get them asked to him. We have Palmetto Cats in here. William Warner, Take Down Catfishing, Catfishing Pappy, Snake River, Uncle Lou, Fishing Local 336. We got Kelly with the Bullet Experience, staring at your link. Where'd you go? Oh, he had problems.
Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button.
We're going to be bringing Dan up so he can give us the announcement on his total for Randall's Rhino. You keep talking. He's going to be a minute.
Yeah, I hear you. What you want to talk about?
Dan's Creations wants to know, Sunfish, what are you primarily looking for when you're going for a good bluegill?
What am I primarily looking for? Like spots to fish?
Right.
All right. So I really don't have a lot of experience fishing much more than in ponds growing up. But the lake, I told you, the lake that I fish in, I've had really good success there. Like really good. Last year, I probably caught, I would say 600 or 700 bluegills and shellcrackers, maybe more. That's how many I kept. I probably caught 800 or 900, and that was probably in 30 trips. And out there, it was an old clay pit, and and it's got sloughs going in, you know, for basically what I'm looking at. Depends on what time of year it is, but I'm looking for where the water drops off, you know, on points. Usually when I'm fishing in my kayak, I'll anchor up to a spot, and where the water is going up into a slough is dropping off, and it's going back out in the deep water a little bit. That's generally where I catch the shell crackers. If I'm fishing in water that's going from 4 feet to 9 foot deep, I'm usually catching the shell crackers in maybe 7 feet of water in the transition areas. And I'll get out there and I'll just fan cast, fishing with worms. And if I don't catch anything, I'll move down the bank 30, 40 yards and I'll do it again. And from doing that, you know, a bunch of times out there, I've found 4 or 5 really good places where I can basically just sit all day in one spot. And, you know, it's nothing for me to catch 50 or 60 fish. And what's crazy is I catch a lot of variety. I'm not just catching bluegills and shell crackers. I'm catching bass. I'm catching bullheads. And that's basically the only, you know, I might catch a crappie here and there, but the lake that I fish in there, everybody crappie fishes and they bass fish. That's all they fish for. Nobody fishes for brim. You got people on the bank around the landing that are fishing for brim, but people that are actually out in boats and kayaks, they're not brim fishing, you know, and maybe that's why I've had such good success. You know, I've told a lot of people out there that I'll talk to people at the ramp and say, how many fish did you catch today? And they'll go, 7. And they go, how many fish did you catch? And I'll go, 57. And they're like, what? How are you fishing? I'm like, dude, I'm just fishing with worms on bottom. You know, and that's pretty much just how I do it out there. And it works pretty good. Now they transition, you know, depending on how cool the weather is or what time of the year it is, where they're at exactly on those spots. But they usually don't venture too far. You know, I may be fishing 50 yards away from the spot in the fall as I was fishing in the springtime. But basically the same places.
Hey, Dan, welcome.
What's up, Avid? Hey, Sunfish Assassin. I don't know your actual name, so what's going on, brother?
How's it going, Dan?
Oh,
My name's George. My name's George, by the way.
George. All right, now we can put a name with the face.
Right, I didn't want to say his name unless he had introduced himself.
Hey, my dad's name was George. My granddad's name was George. So, you know, my name's George, too.
Kind of like Daryl and his other brother, Daryl?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, Daryl, and Daryl.
Yeah.
So how you doing today, bud?
I don't know if Randy's in a position where he can pull over and stop to...
Last time I talked to him, he's in the hospital with his wife.
Well, he said something a little bit ago. He said he was driving. I told him he should, if he's able to stop at some point before long. So if he's listening, he might be willing to pull over and stop somewhere and jump in with us.
Yeah. So, do you love fishing ponds or rivers, Sunfish?
Which one do I prefer to fish in?
Yeah.
It depends. If it's a private pond, probably a private pond. But the rivers I have around me, I have like 4 different rivers around me, but they're not really rivers. They're more like creeks. They get really shallow when it's not raining, and then they flood and get muddy. When it does rain, you can't fish them. They're all rocky. But I enjoy fishing those a lot. But I really don't have a preference. I like getting out in the kayak and getting out there in the lake. I like fishing everywhere.
So I want to ask a question. I don't have anything to go on with what bluegill, shellcracker, any of that tastes like. What would you? I mean, I love to eat catfish and crappie, and sand bass, white bass. But where would bluegill rate as far as like a flavor profile? What would that go at? Since I was a kid, I've never seen a bluegill big enough to eat.
Bluegills and shellcracker always in the same waterways taste better than catfish. They taste less fishy. They have flaky meat. But I will have to say that after 40 years of fishing, the best freshwater fish that I have tasted, which I've never eaten walleye, is a long-nosed gar.
Huh.
Hands down, they're better than everything else.
Wow.
I've never seen a gar myself either.
So,
But shell crackers, shell crackers are better than bluegill, and I think it has a lot to do with their diet. Shell crackers are called shell crackers because they eat shellfish. If they're in a pond that's got mussels, they're eating mussels. If they're in a river that's got mussels, they're eating mussels. They're eating clams if there's clams where they're at. The, and I think maybe that has a difference to do with the texture of the meat and the way it tastes compared to other sunfish. But I would say that shell crackers of all sunfish are probably the best tasting ones, and that definitely goes up against crappie. I'll put a good big ass shell cracker up against a crappie fillet any day of the week, and they always taste better.
Creel wants to know, Sunfish, have you ever had alligator gar?
I have not. I have never caught an alligator gar, but I watch videos on them, and they're just bigger. And if they have the reason the gar tastes so good is because the segments in the meat are very, very narrow. You're talking about an eighth of an inch between them. They're very firm fish. When you fillet them out, you get two straps, so kind of like the back straps off of a deer when you get to clean them. You cut them up to nuggets, just like catfish, fry them. And to me, they have, once you clean them, they have no fish smell whatsoever to them. Do not smell fishy at all. And they pretty much, to me, kind of taste like gator tail if you had to compare them to something.
Plus, those gar are predator fish anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's my experience of eating the ones that I've caught in the last couple of years. They're very good.
We did. Well, we almost had him in the basement, but he came in and he went back out.
Avid, Randy's asking you to post the link again. I think he's in a safe spot.
All right. Now, we have two people that did the trash bag challenge. I'm getting the weights ironed out on that one. So I am doing another trash bag challenge for this. Oh, well, here we go.
Well, if you want to go ahead and talk about the trash bag challenge, we can.
We got him on here.
We can go ahead and wait. If you want to talk about your trash bag challenge, that's fine.
If you want to go ahead and talk about the trash bag challenge, we can. We can go ahead and wait. If you want to talk about the trash bag challenge, that's fine. We can go ahead and talk about the trash bag challenge. We can.
Randy, you got your YouTube volume up?
Randy, you got your YouTube.
Can you hear us, Rando?
Yeah.
Randall?
Hey, Randy, how you doing?
Good, Dan.
Made it home, did you? Well, I mean, before we get to the nitty gritty, if you want to maybe give us an update on how Tammy's doing today. I haven't seen an update in a couple of days, so maybe we can hear how she's doing and hear why we're here.
It's about the same. He's had a good morning, but it's up and down roller coaster. Not a lot we can do. We're playing the insurance game right now. As of August 1st, her insurance changes because she's disabled. So yeah, we definitely.
Well, good thing is today's August 1st.
Yes. So her insurance changes today.
Well, hopefully, like I say, with everything that's happened to me and my family in the past, not just the last year, but I've had, I think 10 to 12 family members die in the last 5 years, and that's all on one side of the family. So, I can only imagine where you're at, but definitely I'm glad to hear she's hanging in there, and I hope we can win this fight for her.
Yeah, I'm praying we can win this fight for you, bud.
Yeah, me too, brother.
So for anybody who does not know, I hope everybody in here knows, should, but I did a 24-hour fishing benefit for Randy and his wife due to his wife having a cancer, what is it, stage 3 carcinoma. I think he said it's in her larynx, however you pronounce it. She, you said I've had a lot of loss, and when I saw Randy's video, it pulled at my heartstrings, and I had the time and the ability to just get out. And I know I'm not the most exciting person on camera, and I damn sure ain't the most exciting person when it comes to fishing, but I figured I'd take the chance. And even though it was a busy weekend for everybody being live, I thought I'd take the chance and just do what I could to try to raise some money, try to help this guy out and his wife, because it's what somebody needed to do.
Hey, it's what cancer does. I haven't heard anything about this, but my prayers go out. My heart goes out. Both my parents died. My mom when I was 14 at 39 years old. My dad at 55 when I was 26.
Damn.
So yeah, I understand what you're going through, and much love going out to you, guy.
Well, definitely sorry to hear about that, Sunfish. George.
Thank you, Sassy.
But I thought I'd take the lead on this matter and just try to do what we could, because I didn't know his financial situation. I didn't know anything, so I thought I would just jump in there and try to do something to try to raise some money. So I did 24 hours live. I caught 3 catfish for him, one being a little bitty channel, and I got my personal best blue, which was only 8 pounds, but I did it twice, and I was happy to be able to do that for them. Of course, I got the German Shepherd back here who won't leave me alone to quit playing ball. But I felt I needed to do something, and that's what I did. I did what I could do, and I always say I'm going to do something, and a lot of times I put things on hold. I hit the brakes, or I just don't do it. But I just said, you know what, I'm going to do it, and whatever we could do, we did, and I think we did pretty good. We're going to help him out with his fuel cost and, maybe some hotel stays. I saw in some of his updates, driving on expired tags, some other things. So I think we got enough to try to help him out here for a little bit. But, with that said, right now I will go ahead. I've already got my PayPal pulled up on my laptop. That way, since I'm going through my phone, on the stream here, I can just pull it up and show you guys. Randy, man, we had a lot of great people, had a lot of great donations, had some really great people inside and outside of this community, people who don't know you, people who don't know YouTube, people who just have a heart and care. And my dad threw in people that were on the fishing dock that day who don't know you from Adam. They threw in to help other people, other family members, friends, and a lot of good people inside this community have helped out. So just to let you know right now, here's what we got as far as just the week's total from the point in time that I started Saturday evening at about 6:30 until tonight. I started at 0, so let me turn my camera around real quick. So Randy, as far as PayPal goes, we have $1,219. And so
wow.
Oh my God, guys.
That's $1,220 that we have. And on top of that, let me get on top
That's
of that,
amazing.
I have
Okay.
another.
Thank you, Dan.
Let's see.
Thank you.
I have another $140 cash right here to add to that from outside sources. And I do have somebody else that said somebody else wanted to throw some cash in, but right there we have $1,360 to send your way, Randy.
I have to say that
Yeah.
I've had a couple of YouTubers hit me on Facebook Messenger on the side who've
Right.
wanted to remain anonymous and contribute a little bit. And I have a couple of younger sister and an older sister who have helped out. Yeah, it's a big deal, guys. It's
That's awesome. Randy, you did have a neighbor. I don't know if you saw that, but one of your neighbors, she came into the stream.
I'm with her right now, actually.
Okay. That was great of her to come in, and appreciate her coming in and just being there to show some support. And so on top of all that, I mean, not included in that is Brad Caudill. He tidal weight sinkers. He offered 50% of all sales over this past week, and so he threw in what he could. So that's included in what we have there. But I definitely really appreciate everything that Brad just making that offer meant a lot.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you,
Randy, if it's all right with you. Now, I always said that, you know, whatever comes to that, whatever comes your way as far as donations, considering my live, if there's anything ever in the future added to that, I would forward that money to you. But since I see you do have a PayPal Me link, if it's all right with you, I'll go ahead and post your link on my 3-part 24-hour stream. That way, if anybody ever has any issue, or I mean, any donations, it'll come straight to you. There's no question. There's no having to forward it. It'll come straight to you.
Yeah.
So,
My
Randy,
my PayPal is just Randall's line. It's pretty simple.
yeah.
Randy,
I'm
if you're on
not gonna
Facebook, message me that link or email it to me, and I'll put it in some of my chat descriptions on my lives for you.
But yeah, so you know, I'm proud of what we did.
I am amazed and shocked with the catfish community with what they've done.
Yeah,
I just like to tell the catfish family that they did great. Hello, catfish and crappie Mark.
I'm definitely proud. You know, we had some people. We had a couple big contributors, and we had a lot of people who made some good donations. And
I didn't lose you out, Randy.
Just you know, had a lot of good people helping out. As far as things go, I do need to apologize to Haz for how I approached things and came in to his live the other night. I made an issue. I know some people had some choice words, but you know, I'm going to apologize for how I came in and how I approached that. But I'm not going to apologize for my feelings on things, because I mean, there are reasons for how I felt on that issue. And it's pretty obvious. But I think, like I said, the catfish community did a great job in trying to help Randy and Tammy out. And I appreciate everything everybody did. As far as the reach, everybody, you know, we had Stan Has, Bex, Avid, you know, Roger Muskrat, had a lot of people during their lives. Mark, Crappie, and Lyle had a lot of people trying to help spread the link, trying to spread the information. Everybody, Alicia Barnett helped out very much. There was a lot of help involved in all this. Between the 3 parts of my 24-hour live, we've got, you know, almost 900 or almost 950 views. So it reached a lot of people.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is. Do what?
I'm sorry. I like to thank the camp. I like to say that the catfish community is amazing and awesome for reaching out and helping Randall and Tammy with as much as they did. And if you do want to be able to reach out and help them, go to Dan's Creations channel and go to his 24-hour live stream. And then his description is his PayPal account, and you can put money towards Randall and Tammy. Just put hashtag Randall
Yeah.
when you send the donation to him.
Yeah, if anybody is currently considering donating, like I said, you can go to one of my videos from the 24-hour stream. The link is in there. If any more money comes to me, like I said, that will go to Randy. But also, Randy does have his PayPal link in his channel, so either one will work. He's going to get that money one way or another.
Okay, I know I've done this in one other stream, but I'm going to do it again tonight. So if I can get a moment of silence for Randall and Tammy while we pray, including in chat, please do. So I'm a little rusty with this.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and start now with a moment of silence. Nobody even say anything in the chat. How about that?
Right. All right, Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, lifting up Randall and Tammy, and we also lift up Katie's father. Father, we know that you're a healing Father, you're a loving Father. We praise you and we thank you for the healings and the many blessings that you bestowed upon us and on them. Father, heal them, bring them home, back to the families where they can enjoy the communions, the memories. Father, minister to them. Let them know that you love them and show them the way that you want them to go. In your son's precious and mighty name, Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Avid.
You're welcome. I'm not good at prayers. I'm not really good at prayers.
Sorry.
I did not know that that Katie's father was ill, or I don't know.
I just found out about that tonight.
But yeah, I'll keep that in my thoughts and prayers, Katie. I don't really know what else to say. This is Sunfish Assassin's night. But we we got on Avid. I do appreciate you letting us come on and letting me go ahead and present this.
I told you I would, because this is near and dear to my heart as well.
Like I said, I wanted to give it a whole week to see what we could amount in a week, and I think we did good. Hopefully people are coming outside. People from the inside and outside will continue to help Randy and Tammy out. Hell, I'd be willing to do. I don't think I could pull another 24 hours, but I'd be willing to do another benefit and try fishing somewhere else and see what I could do. But I'm happy that we were able to help him and his wife out, and that's an important thing. I guess with that said, I will go ahead and knock off of here, and I'll give the time back to George. And
hey, it was nice meeting you.
Hey, you too,
dude. I support everything you're doing. It's fucking awesome.
I appreciate it, man. I'm trying to do what I can to, I'll always be here to try to support this community in one way or another, whether it's something that I make or, something I can do with my time. I'm not in a financial position to really help, but I'll help any way possible I can. If it's somebody in driving distance, I'll do it, but I can't even afford that. So, but yeah, anyways, I'll give the screen back to you, and I'll hang out in the chat, and I'll continue to listen to what you have to say. So, Avid, thank you very much. George, thank you for letting me have this time. And everybody else, I appreciate every ounce of help you gave, whether it be shared a link, donated money, talked about it, whatever. So thank you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have a good night. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
So,
Great guy. Great guy.
He is a great guy. I'm amazed and I'm blessed to see that the campus community was able to step up and do with what they've done. And as far as the part of July's trash bag challenge, I had 2 people come up with weights. One was Miss Alicia, and let me go back and find her weights, and I'll tell. She had a total weight of 122.4 pounds, and if I remember correctly,
Hey, that's a lot of bags of trash.
yeah, Snake River had 211 pounds of trash total. So if I read that, Snake Rivers, let me know. If I read that weight total weight right, let me know in chat. If not, correct me. But so far, if I read that right, Alicia has it one so far with let me find that weight again, with 122 pounds of trash. Hey, real guys fishing. So next month, for the trash bag challenge, we will be doing trash bags from the bank, and tires, and furniture, and stuff that you find on the river banks, on boat ramps. But the bigger stuff will be put in for a drawing. The trash bag challenge will still have a $25 gift card from Amazon. And the drawing for the other stuff that you find on the banks, this is not household trash. This is not household furniture or tires. This is everything that you find off the bank. Off the fishing bank and boat ramps and whatever you might fish out of the river.
Let me go back one more time. All right, so do you wonder what I found at the Hudson River last year while I was kayaking? And
What?
it was right back. It was right up by the bridge. Generally, when I fish at the bridge and I fish off the bank, I go downstream from the bridge. When I put my kayak in, I can go upstream maybe 500 yards before I hit some shoals that I can't get past. But last year, I found half of a big Plano tackle box in the mud in the bank of the river. I'm over there fishing, and I'm like, what is that? Like, is that a tackle box? And I brought it over to the shore when I got in, and you know what it had inside of it? All catfishing stuff, leaders and sinkers and hooks. And they have some plugs. They weren't, I don't know how long it'd been there, probably a couple years. All the hooks are rusted off the plugs, but all the catfish gear I got out of it, I saved it. So yeah, that was a pretty good find.
Okay. All right, Stan. The last video I did on the catfish challenge, the very last video I just did, go in there and put in the comments that you are in the challenge. And that's all you have to do. And I will put my email in chat, and I will, by the end of at the end of August, I want all total weights of the trash bags with a picture of the trash in my email at this email. Hey, Valerie Irwin. So you just have to go to my last trash bag challenge and put saying that you're in it, and go out and pick up your trash, take pictures of the trash and the weights, and at the end of the month, I want the total weights with the pictures in my email. That's how you do it. And if you have tires, folding chairs, tarps, whatever, like anything that'll be like that, that's in a separate, put that in a separate pile, and that'd be for a separate drawing. And I will want that in there as well, and we will get that done. Right. So, how was it like when Dan, just scroll back up. The link's still in chat. What was it like when you how much work did it take to clean up that tackle box?
The one I found in the river.
Right.
Basically, it was like a big Plano tackle box, and the top half of it was gone, and it was filled with mud. I'm talking about, like, when I pulled it out of the bank, it probably weighed 25 pounds, but the bottom section was closed, and it had all the tackle that I found in it. So basically, I just took it over to the bank and dumped all the mud out of the top of it, and it was probably one that was like 2 foot by 12 inches, maybe 12 inches by 24 inches. It was a big tackle box. So somebody, I don't know if it was somebody that was in a boat or if it was somebody that just lived along the river that they lost it. But it wasn't too bad. I ended up cutting off all the leads. They were all egg sinkers on the leaders. It was like wire leaders. I really didn't use those. But I did use some. I had a bunch of corks in it. I used the corks out of it. And I used all the leads pretty much. I still have it. It's out on my back porch now of all the stuff I haven't used out of it. But a bunch of stainless steel hooks, some big catfish hooks that I probably would never use. You know me, I fish with small hooks. But yeah. But it was definitely a find.
Oh, that's why Miss Alicia Burnett, when she went picking up trash, she found tools, she found tackle, she found all kinds of goodies that she could use, as well as picking up the trash, and plus all the fishing lines she picked up as well. We got Dan back up here in here for a minute.
Hey, I just wanted to briefly say, now we do have some more donations that have come in. We're over 1,400 now to Randy and Tammy. Also, I wanted to point out, I did say that night, last Sunday, that some money did come in for me. It was directed towards me to go ahead and keep, but I have opted that I'm not keeping a penny of it, regardless of how it was directed. So, like I said, every ounce of money that's come in is going to Randy. So that was an afterthought. Sorry, I just thought of that, but like I said, we do have some more donations, so we're over 1,400 now, and that's not counting what. Sorry, say that again.
We've been sharing that link in chat.
Yeah. But that's that's not even counting what outside sources have come to Randy through Facebook and people who wanted to stay anonymous or anything else. But I think we did a great job, and like I said, I did none of this for me, and I appreciate anybody who sent money and wanted to help me in any way, shape, or form. But like I said, this was all for Randy. I didn't want any notoriety, so everything's going to Randy and Tammy, and I appreciate everything. But we're still there, we're still moving, and I think people are going to jump it up a little bit more for Randy, and I hope that's going to happen. But So just thought I'd throw that
Hey.
out there. And
Hey, the only thing I got to say about that is you guys see how great the catfish community is on YouTube.
oh yeah,
And that's why I'm in here talking to you guys, and I love everybody in it.
right. Well, we appreciate you coming in. You know, I think you said you're pretty new to the catfishing world, but you've been coming into the stream for quite a while, and you've always added some kind of entertainment or something enlightening to say to us, and that's always great. So it's good to have you here. But I'll hop back out of here. I just wanted to kind of give a little update on that and just throw that back in there. So y'all have a good one, and I'll be in the chat.
You make sure to check out Catfish and Crappies Lab next. He's going for night fishing for flatheads.
Oh, easy now.
Yeah, Real Gals wants to know, Assassin, what's your favorite one to catch?
My favorite fish to catch?
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
I'm going to say bluegills and sunfish and hybrids.
No, I'm not. I've been catching them since I was 2. I would say that the flatheads that I've caught recently are probably my newest objective. That are probably the most fun fish to catch, only because I never caught them before, because I never fished with rat before. But any new species to me, I probably caught last year in Georgia. I caught 20 species of fish. And I like catching all fish, but right now probably it's crazy is catfish are on my radar. I like catching them. I like going fishing for them. I find myself doing it more and more. It's really not that much different than brim fishing, the way I fish for them. I throw out rods to brim fish. I throw out rods to catfish. I'm just fishing with different bait. It's pretty much the same. But I would say this year, probably the Bartram's bass that I caught in the Hudson River this year, and I've caught some last year, is probably the most favorite fish that I've ever caught. It's only because it's so localized in the place that I'm fishing in. It's one of the 10 black bass species in Georgia, and it's only found in North Georgia down to maybe Augusta in different little rivers. I caught one last year that was almost 2.5 pounds. And when there is no state record, but when you look them up online, they say they only get 12 to 14 inches. I've caught 2 or 3 that were 16 inches long in the Hudson. So those are probably my favorite fish that I've ever caught, just because of that reason.
That's amazing.
But I love catching all fish. I love all fish. I like catching all fish. When I go out and go fishing, I want to catch everything that's in the waters. I just don't want to target a specific species. I want to catch them all. And I have just as much fun catching, I have just as much fun catching one fish as I do another. Depending on what body of water it is, I might have just as much fun catching a 6-inch fish as I do a 12-inch fish. Just depends on where I'm fishing. I try to catch the biggest fish in all the places I fish at. And if I can do that, then I feel like I've accomplished something.
I agree with that one. I do agree with that. Always go for the biggest, but if you catch a fish, you still accomplish something. But I always put one rod out with big baits for the biggest cat. And I have a medium bait out for whatever else might want to bite. So, how'd you like tonight so far?
Who, me?
Yeah.
It's been kind of nervous, a little entertaining. I haven't had the opportunity to look at chat because I'm just using my cell phone to do it. But yeah, I've had a good time.
I've been watching the chat for questions, and as I've seen them, I've been passing them on. But I want to end this a little early because Mark with Catfish and Crappie are going on at 9.
Yep, I'll definitely be in that stream.
So everybody, good night. God bless, and have a tight lines. And we'll see you over at Catfish and Crappie.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.